Hey there, it's Dusty Thunder again, and I have another follower-submitted AITA story for you. Am I the astronaut for wanting my best friend to stop hanging out with my ex? So I, 18 female, broke up with my boyfriend, 18 male, about 3 weeks ago for multiple reasons, but I would like to think we ended on good terms. After we broke up, my best friend, 18 female, asked if she was still allowed to hang out and be friends with him. I told her yes, because I didn't want to be that person. But now it seems as if they've been hanging out a ton lately. Like they went to the mall and he bought her $50 leggings. She and I ran into him a few days later and she tried paying him back, but the whole interaction seemed really flirty to me. I also know that she has a hard time being able to tell when someone is flirting with her. A couple days ago, they got all dressed up and went out to eat and bowling, which was a date that my ex and I had planned for a long time. We just never did it. On the way back, they got into an accident, but they're fine. Oof. He has a fractured ankle, but that's really it. I do want to say that she has invited me to a few of these outings, but I haven't been able to go because of work. Okay, well, that does change things. This was not one of those times. So the next day, she drives to his house to check up on him. She lives about a half-hour drive from me, and I live about a 5-minute drive to my ex's house. I will admit I do tend to overthink things, but all of it together really made it seem like they were dating. I called her and talked to her about it and expressed that I would like her to come to my house so we can talk in person. She refused, saying that she was too scared to drive, so I offered to pick her up. She continued to refuse, and she invited me to my ex's house to talk there. I refused as I didn't want to have that conversation there. We couldn't reach an agreement, so we ended up really talking about it the next day, over the phone. I told her that it looks like they are going on dates and such, and I was uncomfortable with it, so I asked her to stop hanging out with him. She essentially said, no, she doesn't want to do that, and I'm an astronaut. Talking to her about this right after the accident. She said that they aren't dates, and she has made it very clear to my ex that I come first and that they aren't dates. We both ended up getting mad at one another because neither of us were budging on our opinions and answers. I really don't want to lose my friendship with her, as she is really important to me, but I also want her to stop hanging out with my ex so much. Am I the astronaut? Some extra background, he and I dated for about 8 months and we broke up 3 weeks ago. To be 18 years old again. My first thought here is, you can't tell your friend who they can and can't hang out with. And if your friend chose to date your ex, she'd have every right to do that. She would also be making the choice to harm your friendship if she did that. So the thing that you have to make really clear is, hey, I can't tell you to stop hanging out with him because that would be a shitty thing to do. I do need to let you know that if you choose to keep hanging out with him in this way, which seems very much like a flirty kind of date, chummy arrangement, it is going to damage our relationship and at some level has already. I can't help that. I can't help how I feel about that, and I hope that you understand that. Just know that if you continue down this path, it will continue to do harm to our friendship. I don't want it to, and obviously I don't want to feel that way, but I can't stop myself from feeling that way, and as my best friend, I hope you understand that. This would give your friend the opportunity to at least acknowledge your feelings and acknowledge the effects of her actions. And maybe this is more on the ex, right? Maybe the ex is playing this, and you know what better way to get back at you or to take a dig at you than by dating your friend, right? Seems like an 18-year-old thing to do. But I think if you really value your relationship with your friend like you say you do, explain your feelings and explain the potential paths here. The potential paths are, 1, she continues down the path of hanging out with your ex in a way that feels like a date and sure seems like a date to you, seems like the beginning of a relationship to you. And the reason that you feel hurt by that could be for a myriad of things. You could still have feelings for him. You could feel that it's a betrayal of trust with your friend. You're allowed to feel the way that you feel. And your friend, after acknowledging the way that you feel, if she continues down that path, is really just saying that she values the potential relationship with him more than she values your friendship. That's her choice. 2, she stops hanging out with him, at least as often or in the manner that she is, thereby choosing the value of your friendship over the value of whatever potential thing exists with him. The caveat to that is that she might feel that you're trying to control her. As long as you make clear that you can't ask her to stop doing that, you just need to let her know what's going to happen if she does, and that it's not something that you can control. Like, you can't control your feelings based on that. And it's going to be awkward if you start third wheeling with them. And you might explain that too. That's path 3 here. If the friend says, well, we just want you to hang out with us more often so that you can see that it's not a date. If he's being flirty about it, you're going to end up feeling like a third wheel. And that's just going to lead to more hurt as well. So over communicate with your friend at this point and just say, look, I'm not asking you to do anything. I would never ask you to do that. I just need you to understand what's going to happen with each of these possible paths so that you can choose whichever way you want to go, and let her choose. And whatever way she does choose, respect it. Even if that means that she's placing more value on the potential relationship with him than your friendship. That is her choice. That's what you have in front of you here, but you certainly can't try to control your friend. She can make her own choices.